Okay, so Jesse, thank you very much for taking the time to join this conversation. We always, like talking to our, customers because, right, at least the analogy that I use is that, I mean, we build race cars, but we don't get to race them, right? You guys race them.
Right.
That is
Right.
the unique challenge of being a systems developer. We develop systems, we deploy systems for so many of our customers, but we don't use them. So that's why it's very fascinating to hear from yourself, the end user. So if you could please introduce yourself, we can get started there. Yeah.
Sure, sure, absolutely. My name is Jesse, Jesse Koehr. I'm with Euri Company. We are a lighting manufacturer. We've been in business for about 13, 14 years now.
Yeah.
My role here, as I had said, is I'm the national sales manager. So I have my hands in a little bit of everything.
Yep.
I handle the procurement, the product development. I handle and oversee logistics. I oversee our warehouse. I even have my hands in accounting and the return process as well.
Got it.
So, as I said, right, I dabble in a little bit of everything.
Yep.
But one of the key issues that we had faced before finding LoadProof
Yep.
was that we would always have shortage claims, right? Whether it be from our clients in various sectors to end users.
Yep.
And the only way that we could essentially try to replicate the shortages was to look at the actual BOL,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And reverse engineer the weight and the dimensions to
Yeah.
see if what we actually sent out was accurate or not.
Yep.
Um, you know, Even though we would do that, some of our clients would still claim the shortages,
Yep.
and we were unable to recoup any of the funds.
Yep.
And I would say over a course of a year, we'd probably have about a 5 to 8% loss of revenue due to shortage claims.
Wow. That's a
Huge.
big number. I mean, 5 to 8% is a big number, even if it's $1 million, right? That's like, $50,000,
Right,
$80,000, right? That's a big number.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and there's also various factors, right? It could also be the carriers,
Yeah.
right, that do not honor the shortage claims and
Yeah.
what have you.
Yeah.
So we came in and, when we started looking into LoadProof, we were like, we gotta do something different.
Yeah.
This is not working for us. And I've personally been in distribution for 18 years now, right?
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, yeah, I started very young.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a long time. I mean, yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, I started at 20. I'm almost 38.
Yeah.
So I had the pleasure of learning from a lot of beautiful minds within the industry, high level executives at Sprint,
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
So even with those tactics that they taught me,
Yep.
it still was not enough.
Yep.
And I had to, just move forward, do something else.
Correct.
So I stumbled upon LoadProof.
Yeah.
Um, by the way, your guys' service is absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
We take care of
Whatever
our
you
customers. I mean, we want to,
Yes.
offer the best service, and especially being a small company, and we have this, notion within our company that, hey, that is a competitive advantage for us. Big companies don't do that, so we bend over backwards to take care of our customers. Immediately jump on
Precisely.
calls. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Thank you
and
for
you guys
acknowledging
are
that.
doing
Yeah,
an
yeah.
absolutely tremendous job. Let me tell you that. I recommend your guys' service to a lot of my colleagues that used to work with me, and a
Yeah.
lot of my competitors that I trade with,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
addition
yeah.
to my customers.
Yeah.
But with your guys' service, we've been able to recoup almost everything that we have lost.
Wow,
To
that's
to
awesome.
Yeah, yes,
Fantastic. Okay.
and it's beautiful because the way that you guys have integrated your processes, right? It, it's undeniable. Let me
Yeah.
just say it like
Yeah.
that. There's
Yeah.
nothing that our clients can say that they can refute it. So thank you,
Great.
thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's nice to hear. So, how did you, find load proof, to solve this problem?
I think I found you guys off of Google. I mean, we've utilized your service for quite some time now.
Correct.
I would say almost close to a year. But I was doing some research on, how to mitigate losses from logistics, and shortage claims, et cetera. And I stumbled across your guys' website, and I had a conversation, and here we are almost a year later.
Great, great, great,
Thrilled with the service.
great. So what was, before load proof like?
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Everything was done manually.
Yeah.
It did not work. And we're a decent sized operation here as well.
Yeah.
But the manual labor aspect of it
Yeah.
is exceptionally challenging,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And with your guys' services, we don't have to recreate any of that anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
And what was so is you guys would ship to a retailer and the retailer would call us and say, hey, I mean, call you guys and say, hey, we had a shortage and this is what we received and we are going to pay you less, blah blah blah, and then you won't have anything to
Correct.
that's how the conversation went typically.
Correct. And we have multiple channels that we work with, right? We do e-commerce, we do big box retail, we
Yep.
do electrical distributors,
Yep.
electrical wholesalers,
Yep.
and our end users are either average consumers or they're contractors or electricians,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and things get lost in the fray
Yeah.
all the time, all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
But with you guys, with your service, it does not happen anymore.
Yep. Okay. So now what happens? So what is after load proof like? So now what happens?
The
You know.
LoadProof,
Mhm.
basically, what are you asking me? What it looks like once my customer files a claim against me?
Correct, correct. I mean, see the same conversation, right? Because now you guys have proof to show that everything was perfectly shipped from your
Yep.
facility. But it's like a retailer or someone calling and telling you guys, hey, we got you shipped 100, but we got only 90, right? How does the
Correct.
conversation go now?
Well, I mean, it's a seamless conversation because we have all the data and evidence to back it up, right?
Yeah.
Before we release a shipment, we take images of everything that goes out,
Yep.
all different angles, right?
Yep.
And sometimes we do record things being built,
Yep.
and then we also take images of the freight before it gets loaded into the trailer,
Yep.
empty trailer.
Yep.
And then we take pictures of the freight after it's been loaded into the trailer and once it's on its way.
Yep.
And because these images are geotagged and
Yep.
located by GPS,
Yep.
and yeah, it's very seamless. It helps a lot.
Correct, correct. And I also saw, we do audit, our system on a, regular basis. Try to look at everything because we got to make sure our system is safe and everything. So I ran into some of your photos where you guys also captured the photos of the weight from the weight scale.
Correct.
Yeah.
We take images and document everything. We take images of the BOL once it's signed, before it's signed,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
The entire process. Yes.
Great, great. And you basically, present that back to the customer or whoever it's complaining, saying that, hey guys, we did our job right. So, it's not fair for us to pay for the shortage claims,
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And then
And then once we have that conversation with them, I'm able to export all those images and
Yep.
send them the flat file.
Okay.
They're able to validate all that data,
Okay.
and 99% of the time they run back to their team and say, hey, this mistake looks to be on our end. And then they end up, moving forward and say, okay, you know what, we counted wrong. We were able to locate the missing goods.
Wow. Wow. So they're able to locate the missing goods. Man.
Yes.
That's
And then sometimes,
yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, you have to understand, right? that
Correct.
Companies have new employees,
Correct.
right? That mistakes happen. We're human.
Yes.
We're not perfect. We're not robots. Sometimes they find it. Sometimes, hey, okay, you know what? We see that the goods were loaded into the carrier like this.
Yep.
This is how we received it. They take pictures, they send it to us, and we say, okay, you know what? It's not on the customer, it's not on you guys, it's
Okay.
on the carrier, and then we're able to rectify those and
With the carriers.
all that.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Yes,
Great.
exactly.
Great. And do you guys pay for the carriers, or does the customer that you ship to pay for the carriers, or it could be both?
95% of the time, it's on our own accounts.
Okay.
We do work with, obviously, like the big box retailers,
Correct.
or we also work with regional and national distributors, wholesalers.
Yep.
And when we're working with those, some of the larger clients, they'll ask us to utilize their carriers. So, but even then, we still take images with their
Yep.
carriers, and they are thrilled and they love that as well.
Great, fantastic. That's fantastic. And what about the do you guys use LoadProof for inbound or anything like that? How does that work?
We have not used LoadProof for inbound yet. We don't have much inbound stuff
Got it.
aside from containers, right?
Okay.
So there's really not that much on that aspect.
No worries. I mean, we have customers, right, that start with outbound and then they're like, hey, we want to use this for inbound as well. And it sounds like you guys don't manufacture within the at least a larger portion of the manufacturing is not within the US, right? It comes from somewhere else.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of our production lines are overseas.
Okay, got it. So I'm just curious if a certain degree of vendor performance that you guys do, in terms of making sure the product is great quality and things like that before you receive it into your warehouse and make it part of your four-wall inventory.
Yeah. We don't typically have, we do our DD. We go overseas to our partner
Oh,
factories.
okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it. So you guys often, travel overseas and then make sure quality is done at that point.
Yes, yes, we have offices in South Korea. We have offices in Hong Kong, in addition to the U.S.
Uh-huh,
Yes.
very interesting. Oh, mate, that's
So
phenomenal, right? I mean, if you can get all that done before it hits the DC here and catch all the issues, quality, infractions there, that is fantastic.
precisely,
That is fantastic.
precisely.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, great. So, what are some of the key benefits now, with LoadProof,
The key benefits, I mean, aside from not losing the 5 to 8% of revenue,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
uh,
yeah.
the implementation process was exceptionally easy.
Okay.
I believe it took maybe a 10-minute call with a couple of your team members,
Yep,
and after we were able to do the integration,
yep,
I was able to get everything set up with my warehouse downstairs
yep,
through the app that you guys provide.
yep.
Um, and it's a very, very seamless process.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now, right, with load proof turned on, do you see, hey, even your people are doing a better job in terms of, right? I mean, see, this happens all the time, and people tell us that, hey, you know what? It's not only the carriers or the customers making mistakes. Sometimes we do as well. Sometimes we do
Right.
because that's part of operations. That's part of, right. Whenever there is a
Yes.
human element that's involved, right, we're going to make mistakes,
Correct.
right? That is
Correct.
nature of the beast that we are trying to tame here. So has that improved by any chance on your side?
It has.
Okay.
The processes, like I said, was very manual before,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like he said, she said. But
Yeah.
now that we have everything documented through your guys' software and your system,
Yeah.
everything is streamlined. Everybody's on point. Nobody makes mistakes anymore like they used to.
Great. 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 Great.
Yeah.
And people are like, they feel like, hey, we are held
It's
accountable, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys have really set a standard, I would say.
Nice. 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 Great. I mean, what other things that you thought, hey, this might not happen, like what do you call collateral benefits that came along, because of having a system like this.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, I mean the cost savings, right? See, there are some benefits we know, hey, we are going to get, and there are some benefits that naturally come along because people are like, hey, you know what? We originally thought, load proof could be used only for outbound, but you know what? Hey, I could now use it even for documentation. I could use it
Oh,
for
absolutely.
several other things, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Documentation, processes. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I know I'm not going to be able to spit off of the top of my head, but
Yeah.
I can get that to you in writing if you would like later.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
One thing that we've always heard from warehouse managers is that, hey, you know what? Before we used to be so nervous. Sometimes a claim, a large claim comes and we don't have a way to refute that, even though we did a great job. And my only option is to lose $5,000, $10,000. Right, now what I know, I have load proof, and especially one of the key capabilities that we make sure we give our end users is that you got to be able to get to those photos and the proof very, very quickly, right? Because when an
Yes.
issue happens, you want to nip that in the butt, right? You don't want that happening so much. And couple of people are talking about, now the whole team is talking about it, and the entire organization is talking about it. It gets worse, the longer it takes to solve that problem. So it's very important to solve that problem very quickly, right? So that's why
Yes.
if you log into the system and put in that metadata, you can find those photos within seconds and share that with your supply chain partner customer within seconds, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and the customization feature that you guys have set up is fantastic as well.
Yeah.
I personally have set up a couple of different things for the big box retailers,
Yeah.
so those metadata fields that are locked in specifically for those clients,
Yeah.
you know, it, seamless transition, right? So I have Amazon, the Home Depot, the Lowe's, and,
Yep.
and they all have different requirements,
Yep.
and your guys' system is able to shift and pivot
Yeah.
and customize accordingly, and it's huge,
Okay.
huge.
Great, 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 great. And at a high level, how much is the dollar savings? Is 5 to 8%? Is it fair to say on average, 50,000 to 80,000? That's like about $70,000 per year.
I would say so
Okay.
at a minimum.
Yeah, no, that's a
At a minimum.
nice chunk of change for a reasonable size company like you guys, right? I mean that's a is it fair to say that's a good return on investment,
Oh,
on
100%.
LoadProof?
100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And
yeah,
I encourage anybody that's looking into your company that isn't sure
yeah,
to make that jump because it definitely pays for itself
yeah.
and they would be thrilled with your services.
Great, great, great. How was it? See, I know you mentioned, from a technical perspective, it was very easy to turn on, right? It's just a matter of downloading the app and then start using it. How was it, with the people, right? I mean, people are the, what do you call, the element that's difficult to, get it right. It
Right.
takes some time, right? Because as humans, we don't want to change, quickly, right? We don't change quickly. So, how did it? Was there any challenge in terms of, getting the team to see this change, and
No,
how was
no,
that?
no,
Yeah,
not at all.
yeah,
We had a meeting with our team. Everybody was on board,
yep,
right? And
yep,
then after we met with
yeah,
your team was fantastic. They addressed any questions that we had.
yep.
There was no hesitation on our end.
Yeah, yeah. So people understood, hey, this is going to help
Yes,
us as an organization, and
yes,
what we have seen is that, hey, oh, now we got to do this extra step, right? That's how they look at it. Oh, I picked,
yes. They see
packed,
it as a
you know,
pain point. They
yeah,
see it as a pain point,
yeah,
absolutely. But
yeah.
I mean, what is one pain point as opposed to $80,000, right? An extra 30 seconds
Yeah,
to save. It's a no brainer.
got it, got it, got it. So once they realized, the team adapted to the solution pretty well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Give me 1 second here. Just want to. Great. I mean, anything else, that you would like to add about LoadProof that you guys found interesting, or that helped you along?
I think that's everything for now. I'll have to speak with my actual warehouse manager,
Okay.
because they are the ones that are more hands-on. I on the implementation and the oversight
Yeah.
overseeing,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they come to me anytime they have issues, and then I'll speak with your team.
Yeah.
But I can absolutely get with my warehouse team and get you a list of things that you would like.
Yeah. That'll be great. That'll be very, very
Yes.
helpful. Fantastic.
If you could do me a favor,
Yeah.
Puga, if you could send me an email,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just kind of a high level overview, I'll
Correct.
forward that to my team. We'll sit down and we'll get that to you hopefully today, if not Monday at the
Okay,
latest.
great. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'll get that to you, or Maria will, email that to you. I know I'll make sure, she
Beautiful.
handles all this for me. So would you recommend LoadProof to someone else that is in your role or in a similar role?
Yes, yes, I have. And I've already recommended you to a couple of my clients.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I mean,
Yes.
that's all I have. Jesse, thank you very much for taking the time, to join this call. And I will, send that email, or Maria will send that email. If you could, I just, summarizing any type of benefits and any type of, other benefits that you guys did not expect, right? That you experienced,
Yes.
that would be very beneficial, especially to, right, someone that is, evaluating LoadProof, and hearing a user, like yourself, that you folks have used for 1 year, right? And then experiencing all the benefits, that's very, very helpful for a prospect that's listening to this testimonial, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Awesome.
sir.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse.
All
Thank
right.
you very much for
Thank you
taking
very
the
much,
time,
Puga.
and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, brother. God bless. Take care
Thank you.
and
You
enjoy
too.
your weekend with your family.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.